Columbus here in Florida. Looks like the Sharps are asleep in this one so far. Good morning, Sharps. Anybody interested in? Let's see. I know the lines moved a little bit, but nothing that I could really analyze here. Maybe it's gone on Florida. What am I listing it at? 210 there, and now I'm showing as high as 225, 6.5 over, maybe minus 120. So I don't know. I mean, uh, maybe feels a little bit cheap for the Panthers in this one. Let me freshen up the goalie computer as well. But Bobrovsky was likely to be in goal, by the way, in this one from the beat writers as of yesterday. So looks like Bob's in there today against Elvis. But I don't know if we've seen enough action to get me too hype here and giving out something confidently. And let's maybe bring up the notes a little bit here and to get your recommendations, get you going with this one. All right. Well, pretty even matchup certainly at this point. Florida not doing too much special. 4-5-1 currently, and um, Columbus coming in 4-5-2. They've done okay. Just 6-5 on the puck line here. Woo! Good morning. Saw my old buddy do that the other day, or at least she got the camera off. All right, and you might need your help here on this one, but Florida looks still a little bit cheap here. Maybe it could be as high as about $2 or so. I don't know, and uh, total here at 6.5 over minus 120. These teams have been a pretty solid under so far this season, certainly. I mean, that probably be the way that I'd kind of look here without any, you know, market action to kind of help me think if I'm right or wrong. I mean, these teams are a combined 8 and 13 to the under thus far, and really for two teams like this, you're probably dealing with about as big of a line as you could get. One thing about the Blue Jackets on the road, they have gone under in 3 of 4 games on the road, but Florida's gone under in 3 of their 4 home games thus far. So maybe that could neutralize it just a bit because you got to figure the Panthers, if they're going to be, you know, 225 favorites, obviously the, uh, score here in this one, you're going to be looking at 4-2, 4-2, 4-3, 4-2 or 4-3 here. So I don't know. For uh, me, I might trust what's the Blue Jackets on the puck line. This one's tight. For me here. I feel like Steam play. Oh boy, look at that! Get your college basketball ready. I want to get to that. I want to get to that uh, part of the show at this point with this game. Plus 1.5, minus 130 for the Blue Jackets. Maybe I can go in that direction here as my play on the show. I think under is catching my eye as well. Nothing from you guys in the chat. I'm waiting, and getting nothing. So maybe then I'll just have to trust Columbus here, getting a goal and a half. Look, they are so far. What did I say they were? 6-5 on the puck line, but 6-3 on the as a puck line dog. They're 2 times as a puck line favorite. They've lost. They're also 3-1 as a puck line dog on the road, while Florida is 2-3 as a puck line favorite. Okay, that'll do it for me. Give me Columbus at minus $1.30. That'll work here in this one. All right, now to handicap it out. The Lightning at the Leafs here. Lightning An underdog on the road, Leafs favorite $1.55, maybe $1.50 now. A little bit of take here. The move is on Tampa Bay, I would say, at this point. Uh, Man, this one, 6.5 over minus $1.25. This is an interesting total actually here, because I'm also showing a lot of books already moving to seven under. And look, no matter what, it's going to either be 6.5 over at, well, I guess minus $1.25 or $1.30 now for the most part, or those sevens are going to be juiced down to $1.35, maybe even $1.40 here. But either way, I mean, it might be too close to call, because you feel like this game is going to head to the range of 7 goals, like we can't get away from it. It just doesn't seem like any way there's going to be. Um, I mean, I guess way less chance that it's going to be 4-1 than it will be 5-3 or something, I guess was the way I would look at it. It feels like this game is going to approach 7 goals no matter what. You just got to either be on the right side of it here. Um, you know, Again, maybe there is no value taking uh, under necessarily. It just feels like that type of game where it's going to be, somehow get to 4-2 with an empty netter, or 3-3 to overtime. It feels like, even at $1.55. So maybe that makes the Maple Leafs a little bit too heavy of a favorite. Nothing from you guys again. Winding it down with my hockey uh, hockey players. Look, money's coming in on Tampa. It looks pretty solid here. One thing I'll note, I mean, Tampa, their puck line a little bit out of control. Plus 1.5, minus 190. I mean, it's a great roll for them. They are 4-1 as a puck line underdog, and Toronto so far has been just a 1-4 on the puck line at home, 2-7 as a puck line favorite. Do you feel comfortable at $1.90? That would be, I guess, that would be the question of it all, because certainly the numbers make it very, very close. But maybe Tampa Bay struggled just a little bit on the road here, on the 1-3 so far straight up. So maybe that's where that's all built in. But I do know these two teams a little bit more over than under, uh, even with these two teams known for this big time scoring coming in at this point. Again, uh, not overwhelming. Toronto's actually played a good amount of unders here. That may be the key for me that keeps me when I'll make the play here, because nobody's helping me out. There we go, Ferner. Thank you, you guys. I don't mean to pester you guys. I know you guys are, not sitting here necessarily on every word I say, but all right, I'm going to try the under. I don't feel this great about this game, but uh, there have been enough unders to think, look, I mean, come on. The games are only going to be, like I've said in the past, right? It's only 5.5, 6.5, I don't know, 5.5, 6.5, usually the total, or, could be a 7, but uh, again, those are, and you're expecting a high scoring game. And at least with Toronto, you do have a team that, even though it is a high total, you do have a Toronto team that has gone under in 7 of their 11 games this season with one push. So that's pretty big, I guess. That's actually quite big for a game that's graded. Look, there's no doubt that, like I said, to me, the offenses do stand out. If I'm trying to nail it down, uh, the Leafs have played quite a few unders. Whether or not this matchup, you know, favors that, it doesn't necessarily feel like it. But you know, certainly if you could contain some of these Lightning, God, I mean, but Kucherov and Point, Stamkos. Okay, under it is. Keep it going here. Bruins and Stars. hockey action here for Monday. You got the Bruins on the road, Dallas at home. Great match. I mean, this is a matchup of the night. This is one of the best matchups, I would think. Well, I don't want to get too carried away at this point. I mean, I'm not going to necessarily say that Dallas is a 7-2-1. I mean, this okay. Maybe it's one of the best matchups so far. Let's just call it that. Boston 9-1-1 coming in, and Dallas 7-2-1 right now. So with Dallas being at home and drawing favoritism, yeah, this is a pretty hot matchup. If you're looking for the hockey game of the night, this is it. It's one of the best so far this season, no doubt. This could be even the secret, the stars of the team, probably because of the starts we've seen so far from Colorado, from the Golden Knights, and maybe even my Kings a little bit. But the Stars, you probably got to put them number 3 out west. Certainly, don't you right now? And they're the team that can be that team a little bit. But is this thing still at 5.5 over? What did I just say? I don't care. I think that yeah, it is 5.5. Maybe it's even 5.5 flat, but I'll leave it at 5.5 over. I don't care. I'm doing over. I'm going over. These teams are too good. I get it. We'll see. What's the goalie situation? I'll check. Is it going to be Swayman in there today and not Allmark? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Is that enough to put me over the top? I don't know. I mean, Swayman's pretty good too. We know what makes Boston the team they are right now. Nobody's confirmed here yet, but I think that the sites are pretty much hanging out for these two goalies being the starters here tonight. So with Boston on the road, you got to make some decisions. When to play the other goalie a little bit. And Perner's going to lean to the under here. And that's okay. I'm going over 5.5, and there's definitely some trending information right now that the early 5.5s are kind of going under a little bit. I think that's what it had. It's close right now, and again, we don't break that down necessarily too much, just when it's closest to 110. But I'm going to have to probably go here in this one. Usually I like these type of home team quality opponent, short favorite here. I may end up on Dallas. I very well could end up on Dallas and maybe even make it a premium, but I just want to see a little bit more. Maybe the Scully data will help me here, but I'm going over in this one, Boston and Dallas tonight. The Oilers here against the Canucks. And in this one, I've got Skinner and Demko in net, and I'm showing right now that maybe the Canucks, no, maybe Edmonton's still the slightest of favorites here, minus $1.15. I'm showing a few pick'ems possibly out here. Now, usually in games like this, I just go almost division game. I have the better team, I think, but I just have too many questions maybe right now surrounding Edmonton to make me automatically want to go with the Oilers here. But look, if you can't get past this one, Oilers, I don't know what we can do. I mean, other than the fact that we have concerns already, this season with what is going on, this is the one you better win. Now, I'm already kind of moving Anaheim up at maybe ahead of, some of those lower ranked teams in the West, like Vancouver. Can I move them ahead of Calgary? It's close. Yeah, maybe. Who knows right now? And who knows where the Oilers and Flames stand with one another? Maybe they're both down. I don't want to think so necessarily. And this is one you need, I think, if you're the Oilers. And this is one where maybe I'm going to trust them to win at this point. And, I don't know if I can break it down even necessarily to sell you here because you've got Demko up, who's looking good so far. I mean, 1.55 goals against. He is 6-2 thus far. He's, heavily worked, obviously, having started 8 of the 10 games thus far this season, 11 games thus far this season. But look, you have a Canucks team that is 8-2-1 so far. You have an Oilers team that's 2-7-1. They're on the road. Bookmakers are not intimidated. Yeah, there's been a little bit of a move to the Canucks. You could even call this game a pick 'em. But if you just erase the names and I said, you've got a home team here, 8-2-1, you've got a road team, 2-7-1. You could argue that the strength of schedule has vastly favored the Oilers here, but not enough to erase in professional sports that kind of opposite deficit here. But this is a game that the Oilers absolutely need to prove to them, to themselves. I'm probably going to be on the Oilers here, and I'll take my lumps with them tomorrow. I know the Sharps have already moved, a little bit on the Canucks. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm square here. So I'm on the Oilers tonight. The bookmakers must be handing out lollipops. Come get your Canucks free. It's a pick 'em. You can get a team with 8-2-1 against a team that's 2-7, 2-7 and one overtime win or a penalty win. What I'm trying to remember it now. I'm taking the Oilers.